Okay, here we are. This is actually Friday the 13th, January 2023, and it's about 7:30 at night. And here we are at the RCA, and that's Royal City Avenue. And this is very popular amongst Chinese. So they have a lot of Chinese owned and Chinese clientele coming to these businesses. All different types of restaurants, somewhat limited nightclubs. So here we're certainly open for business, and even though the COVID restrictions are lifted and it is 7:30, I would expect these tables to be filled, but maybe it is a little early. Okay, here we are, and it's about 7:30 at night. Looks like the crowd is a little light, and this is a Friday night. Now, the RCA, or Royal City Avenue, this is actually in Bangkok, Thailand. And you'll notice that a lot of these businesses are specifically targeting Chinese customers. You always know when it's a Chinese business because the menu and the sign and everything is in Chinese. Here's one of the 13,000 7-Elevens here in Thailand. And we can see this one is number 15,677. I guess we're missing a few stores, but that's the number of that one. And here we see at China Tobacco. There's another Chinese restaurant and one right next to it. If you didn't know better, you'd think you were in Beijing. But no, this is Bangkok. The Royal City Avenue, this area is about 30 years old, but the property belongs to the SRT Railway here in Bangkok, Thailand. So these businesses are actually leasing the property. Now you'll notice that there's a series of office buildings there to the right, and with the effect of COVID back in around 2019, 2020, 2021, a lot of the offices went to the work from home status and have now not been properly reestablished or reoccupied. And a lot of the businesses here to the left have changed. So here we see the new round of businesses, and as I was mentioning, a lot of them are favoring Chinese tourists. Now, the tourism industry really took a hit in about 2020, 2021, but here it's slowly coming back. And that's what a lot of these businesses are depending on. Now, behind the office buildings is a large selection of apartments and condominiums, and they're fairly upscale. So here, the Royal City Avenue would be a great place to shop. And if you did have an office, if you could rent one of those office buildings, that would be nice. And of course, the nightlife, which the Royal City Avenue was known for. But again, in the COVID era, that took a serious turn. But here we see, now we mentioned this was a Friday evening. We're not super busy. The weather is always warm in Bangkok. What is it? Hot, hotter, wet, wetter. Those are the 4 seasons of Bangkok. And here we see kind of an open air nightclub. We see they serve, full meals and drinks. You can sit there under the starlight, or they're inside the building. It's all open. Here we see there to the actual left, those are electric motorcycles. So we're getting into electric scooters. I should call them scooters, and that would be something interesting if they had a range of about 70 to 100 kilometers. That would do just fine as you were moving around there in Bangkok. And actually, in visiting them, their batteries are instantly swappable. So you can pull in, swap batteries, and away you go. And they even have a place for an extra battery. And don't forget 7-Eleven. There we go. There's no less than 3 7-Elevens on Royal City Avenue. That's right. A 7-Eleven about every 300 yards. And remember, if it's on one side of the street, we have to have a 7-Eleven on the other side of the street. We don't want you crossing the street. And there we see rather a fancy venue, and this is one of the nightclubs. And as you visit Royal City Avenue during the day, it seems like a lot of these places seem to be under constant construction. They're always changing. But here they're trying to put together a venue to attract lots of people. Now, as far as parking is concerned, there is underground parking there to the left underneath the office buildings. So yes, there's plenty of parking. So they could have hundreds of cars, no problem. So when you come to Bangkok, visit the RCA.